Hi guys, and welcome back again to my channel. First of all, let me wish you all a very happy new year. Like it's a new year and new energy, so let's start this whole video with new energy. So I've been waiting to drop this video, to make this video for so long, but I just couldn't get the time to do so. So here I am making it. So in today's video, we're gonna talk about how are you going to move on from any of your past relationships. Either it was a relationship or a situationship or name it anything you want to, but how to move on from a person. Now, moving on from someone is not a one-time process. It can take days, it can take weeks, months, and also few years. So you just need to have the patience where you could just put your energy into it, you can just put your efforts from moving on from that person, okay? So let me give you some of the advice that you can use to move on from a person. The very first point is acceptance. Acceptance is a key. You cannot move on from that person until and unless you have accept the fact that that person is not with you, not anymore with you. It could be that that person is there in your life, but you are like not in a relationship. It is not going to happen until and unless you accepting the facts that that person has cheated on you, or there could be any reasons, like any of the reasons. Now it's not necessary for the person who've been in relationship was a bad person. Like it could be due to any reasons, the family reasons, or it could be any sort of reasons, but you just need to accept the facts, the actual reason that has caused you to coming out of that relationship. Was it their behavior? Was it your behavior? Was it like environmental thing? Was it like your family problem, or was it like any other thing? Anything. First you need to accept it that yeah, this was the problem, this was the reason that we could not be together. Yeah, if there could be a possibility that you could have just you could have modified that thing, or you could have worked upon it, but it could not work until and unless this reason does not make a sense in it. You need to accept it that it did not work, okay? And now you're in the state where you need to move on from that person. So how are you going to do that? Second point is to let your emotions out. Now letting your emotions out is not mean that you'll go back to the person, you're gonna cry and you're gonna let them know that how much you loved them, or how much you wanted them to be with you. No, this is not we mean. Now letting out your emotion means that you can cry out your emotions, you can share it with your friends, your family, anyone. So this is a step where you can just let go of that burden from your shoulder. You're just not too spectral about that thought, or you're just not too indulge in that person's thought. Like you just need to let go of those emotion. You can just cry about it, and it's okay if you're crying about it. Like you can cry for days, you can cry for like a lot of time, but once you're done with that crying session, you need to get out of that thing. Do not look in the past, do not look for that person in the past, okay? Now letting your emotion out is something that people might mistake is and like going back to the person and then telling them, oh, how, like writing the paragraph, like when you're drunk you're texting that person that how much you love them. But no, this is not the way, this is not how it's gonna work. So you just need to stop doing it and let your emotions out. You can journal about it, you can write letters to yourself, or you can send a huge paragraph, but to your very own self, not to that person, because this is where your self-respect comes in. Third, stop talking about that person. I don't mean talking to the person, but talking about that person. Now, even if you're not talking to that person, or even if you're not in like relation with that person, even if you're talking a lot about that person to your friends, to your family, to your colleagues, to anyone, it can lead you to like think of that person. But if you're constantly like just crying about it, you're cribbing about it, that oh, that he did this to me, I want to go back to that person, like every day if you're doing this, no, you're just attracting that energy to it. You don't want that person again into be your life. Like if you have a friend of yours and you're telling them, oh, we were this good, we went to this place, we like this dish, we ate this together. So it's like you're constantly bringing up that person in your life, and you just want to make the like that person part of your life. But no, this is now how it's gonna work for you. You need to stop talking about that person every single time. Even if the conversation brings up the name, just act as if you don't know that person. Stop taking the name of that person, because it's gonna just make you memorize about that. Like, it's just gonna take you rewind to that past. You're gonna think about it. You're gonna again be in the same situation. You're gonna be in the same energy, and you cannot be out of that energy until and unless you stop talking about that person. Point number four, stop stalking their social media sources. It could be their Insta account, it could be their Facebook account, or any other account. Just stop stalking them. Like, every time when you're stalking that person, even if you're like being in a touch is okay, but try to like cut it off. Like, it's better if you cut off that person from your life completely. But if that's not possible, stop stalking the social media. Okay, you're just constantly viewing the stories, who they're following to. If you see the story, who is the new person they're going out with what's the place they're going out with, you don't need to do that. It's also going to affect your mind. You're gonna think a lot about that person, and this is not helping you to move on from that person. Point number five, delete all the pictures that you had together. It is not important for you to have the picture of that person with you. Like, who do you want to show that pictures to? So, like, if we don't want to talk about that person, what do we need the pictures for? So, start with clearing up your drafts, your gallery, and everything. Just delete and every single picture of that person. You don't need those pictures in your phone. Okay, start with deleting those pictures. Point number six is to start building your focus on other things. Like, sometimes it happens that we just tends to become too focused on that person that we let go of other things. Like, it could be your career, or it could be your family, or anything. So the time when you feel like you need to move on from that person, start focusing. Like, start having new hobbies, or go get a job, or do any sort of things that gonna make you to cope up in those things, in that work, that you don't even get time to think about that person. I know that everyone says that like, when you get too busy, you just tends to forget about a person, or that person, whoever that's in your life. But it does works in a way. Like, it does works. Like, you just need to be in that phase. Like, it's just not going to help you move on from that person, but it's gonna help you build your very own self too. Like, if you're focused on other things, you'll have other people to socialize. It's like you'll meet new peoples, and when you're meeting new peoples, you'll share new mindsets, you'll have new thoughts, you'll have new opinions, and that's the time when you'll actually realize that why you left that person, and that it was a right decision, and moving on was also a right decision. And that could be the phase where you have actually moved on from that person. It's just a time that you are just too thinking of that person, but now you have moved on from that person. So this is the phrase. So you really need to, like, start doing other things to just direct your focus from that person. If you're letting that person get back in your life, it means that you have not completely moved on that from that person. So you're just letting him in your life, you're letting him ruin everything, like your all the process, or all the your efforts that you have took till now to moved on from that person. So just remember all of this advice and make sure that you moved on from that person. It could be your relationship, ex, or any other thing. So let's just hope that this video did help you to move on from that person. Like, you can try these tricks and techniques and let me know if it helped you or not. So I hope you all like this video. So share, subscribe, and comment.